Welcome back to another episode of the Corner Podcast. I'm your host Jethro Siew, and the Corner Podcast where I invite friends and guests to discuss topics and share their life experiences. So today I have, if you saw the first episode, you may know him on YouTube, and yeah, please welcome back yet again, Shen, my good friend.
Hey guys.
So today, as always, as same as the previous podcast or the previous episode, where we have a segment called "What's Your Favorite?" And today's also we'll be asking another 3 favorite questions. So here we go. Are you ready, Shen?
Yeah, sure.
So
Go ahead.
the first one is, if you guys listen to the first episode, which is all about secondary school. So what's your favorite subject?
Subject? Probably maths.
Oh, I hate MX. Why particularly MX?
Why particular? I mean, it helps in programming, so it's somewhat related. Plus I'm also still learning maths even in college.
Alright.
So,
Cool.
maths or maths.
Max or MX?
Yeah, the same thing.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, next one. What's your favorite brand of laptop?
Not much of a favorite, but I mean generally anything that has the one that I need to use, maybe in terms of
Programming.
not really programming, but for gaming of course.
Okay.
But at least the graphics card needs to be GTX 1060.
1060 is the minimum.
Not 1060.
1080.
1660.
1660.
GTX
Okay. You haven't said your brand yet?
No
particular brand?
No particular. As long as it works, can really.
Okay, alright. Next one, which is the last one. I think I also know about, I think I know the answer to it.
Okay.
So what's your favorite software for editing videos?
I mean, most people, there's Sony Vegas, there's also
DaVinci Resolve 16,
yeah.
Premiere Pro.
But of course I only use Premiere Pro lah.
So far
it's Premiere Pro only.
Pro,
Yeah lah.
Alright. Just to point out, because I'm a Premiere guy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Resolve, right?
Yeah.
I'm not used to it for the interface. Just the interface.
I mean normal lah, since you transit. I mean
I'm trying to learn both. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Alright. So let's wrap this up for what's your favorite. So for today's topic, we are basically gonna talk about what's our part-time job. Part-time job. We've been through some. Not much.
Yeah, not much.
Not much. So I'll say, okay, so I'm gonna start first. So
go ahead.
I have actually few part-time jobs. One of my very first part-time job, which is a tuition assistant actually. A tuition teacher assistant.
Okay.
Basically, I will print, scan those copies
of
for the students
to use,
for them to write down or use that. So that's one. And I'm also a part-time coach, 24 festive drum coach. And I'm also current freelancer for videographer and video editing. So if you guys want to hire me, please hire me.
That works for free,
No, that one different. Okay. So how about you, son?
For me, my part-time job, actually not much. I only work at 2 places. One, which was like very, very young. My mom just let me try to work at my aunt's, where my aunt worked for like one day, 1 or 2 days, because my mom was busy. So she just dropped me there and then she just said, "You want to try work or not?" I was like, "Okay, sure, why not?" And then my second job was after high school. Was a robotics teacher. Also teacher, so we are 2 teachers.
Sort of. I would say I consider I'm a coach, not a teacher. coach and teacher is
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
different.
So what do you do? What do you do in robotics as a teacher?
Robotics, I mean, for most basics ones, so I'll basically ask them to do before that, I'll give them a brief of what we're gonna do today. Then we'll let them build the robots. After that, they'll have a competition among each other, and then that's all basically.
Basically, that's it. All right. So for the next segment, not segment, which is a topic actually, one of a topic. So let's share about how our first ever part-time job.
First ever.
Yeah, first ever.
I will. Are you first? You go first.
Okay, I go first. So as I said just now, I am a part-time. No, sorry. My first ever part-time job is actually a tuition teacher assistant.
Assistant for teachers.
Yeah, assistant for teachers. But I don't teach. I only do the
Paperwork.
pre stuff.
Pre paperworks and
yes, I would say paperworks.
Paper boy. Okay, continue.
So I'm mostly handling. Okay, so let's go step by step. Okay, so the first thing, obviously, this tuition center asked us to have a short interview. Even before that, they even asked us like, okay, we're actually hiring some part-timers. If you guys are interested to help some of the teachers, you may stay back and we may chat about it. And then, of course, I stay back because, every time during secondary school, we have 2 months of break. 2 months.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end of the year, we have 2 months break. So that's the time where I able to do part-time jobs. So after that, after the chat, when I stay back and then chat about it, and then I went to this interview. This interview is the same questions for all the part-timers out there. So for example, in the interview, they will basically ask you, okay, give a short introduction of yourself and talk more about yourself. And then I give a short introduction. After I give the short introduction, will be, okay, why will you join this part-time job? Then basically, it's the first time. So it's obviously you're gonna say like, oh, I want to have some experience. I want to experience about what is this industry is all about, and then during the interview is pretty nerve-wracking because that time I was actually with my friend Jiahong. Jiahong, if you remember this. So yeah, we went through the interview one by one, but we went together. But the interview is 1-to-1. So yeah, and then after the interview, we both were like, hey, what happens if one of us hire, one of us doesn't hire? Are you getting bored or something like that? Then we have a chit chat, and then we'll be like, I think it won't gonna happen because tuition teachers will give chances to students, to let them experience what current teachers experience have. So after a few more days, then we get announced. Then we actually got the job. Both of us, we actually got the job.
Okay, good.
So which is very good.
Yeah.
I don't mind. And then we both actually get the same time slot, which is a morning shift.
Nice.
They have 3 shifts. So they have morning, afternoon, and night shift.
Night shift should be what time? What time do I night shift?
6 to 10.
6 to okay.
6 to 10, and then
night shift.
if I'm not mistaken, afternoon is like 2 to 6, and morning is
8 to 1.
8 to 1. Basically 4-4-4.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So, we're very excited, the first job, and then first day, and then I actually get to assist this primary teacher. Just for more info that this tuition center is actually quite big. So I don't want to name now. So it's actually a big tuition center. So I actually assist this primary teacher. I also won't name now. But the first day will be like, they call me Hao Xian. That's my Chinese name. Hao Xian. Hao Xian, can you help me to print this? Can you help me to scan this? Can you help me to scan like this page to this page? And then, the first day, it's actually okay. Then I accept it and then I do. Over the course of the month is 2 months, right? When halfway, actually 1 month passed, I was like kind of bored because you're actually doing the same thing over and over and over.
I mean, basically, when you're doing a job, it's basically doing the same thing over and over again, lah.
Yeah.
Especially paperwork.
Especially paperwork, because I also don't know, because that's my first time. I also don't want to expect much because I don't expect to teach students.
You cannot teach students.
I'm not able to teach students yet that time. So, as a part-timer, I don't want to argue so much. When halfway through, I was like, gosh, can I end this early? By the way, just want to point out, the pay is quite low.
I mean, you're still secondary, lah. Of course, the pay is low.
Yeah. So.
And you're doing paperwork only.
Yeah, I only do paperwork. So that time the first month, I'm actually focusing just only scan and print papers. Those exercise books? It's like 40 pages to 60 pages. Those things. I have to scan every single pages.
Oh yeah.
Because the primary teacher also need to use. They want to. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with the
printers.
Not printers, come on. The printing process or the scanning process. It also depends on the printer. So if your printer is the industry printer is the big one, then you can print both pages at the same time.
I mean, normal one also can, right?
Normal one can, but you have a lot of struggle because it's small and then you have to fit in perfectly. For the big printer, you have
correct.
You have more space, and then you can adjust on the laptop after you scan. True. So if you have a small printer, it's a little bit struggle to print 2 pages at the same time, and then sometimes when the paper is too thin, that you can print or you can scan the other pages, you actually can overexpose the pages. So for professional industry printers, it's a little bit more, I would say, professional in a way, and then you can editing your pages or
on the computer
on your laptop. So and then after the first month, the second month I start to use editing those scanning pages on the laptop, on the computer. So on the second month, I would say it was a little bit more interesting because you're able to face the laptop, use the computer, and then edit your stuff.
At that time still no one has a laptop yet.
Yes. And then if I'm not mistaken, that time I was also kind of stressed out because these are for students. You cannot print anything wrong or scan anything wrong. If you scan something wrong, you have to rescan. You have to scan again, the whole book again.
The whole book?
Yes. Because that time it's only like sekali, like one go. You cannot go back again.
I mean, even if you scan wrong, right? Couldn't you just rescan that page?
I think I think can. Sorry. Can. Sorry.
You scan the whole book.
I was a little bit blurred. But anyways, I mean basically that's it lah. That's my whole life, and then
whole life.
For that 2 months, and then morning shift for that 4 hours. Sometimes I OT to afternoon section. Sometimes, not every day. Sometimes, but I mostly focus on morning shift because after morning time, when you are awake, then you will be more focusing on your work. Then during afternoon, right after work, then you can chill, then you can do whatever you want. So that's the good point. That's a good thing where you get to work on morning shift. So that's my first ever
part-time job.
Part-time job.
Hey.
First ever. My goodness. So yeah, how about you?
My part-time job. I mean, surprisingly, right? You have interview. Secondary during for me, I don't have interview. You know.
No. Is it during secondary school or primary?
Is I mean the one that I work with my not really work but assist in my not with my aunt lah. That time was around primary, I guess.
Oh, primary so early.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know that I only go there and like just like somewhat help for what few hours and then I fed up, you know. Second day fed up. Straight away fed up. I cried on the spot.
Why? What happened?
I kept doing the same thing. So yeah.
Oh, I understand that because
I mean primary school.
I understand.
And after that, I understand that it's quite normal-ish for especially paperwork, like I said. Then my second job, that one was after UPS. SPM. After SPM. The place where I go to robotics every week called up and say they want to become a teacher or not. I was like, I have nothing to do. Sure, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Sure,
and
why
then
not?
Started around December and then ever since until now.
When December?
I mean 2017.
2017.
Until now. So about 2 years. If you don't count this year, then it should be also around about 1 year plus.
1 year plus.
Of experience.
Let's talk about let's talk more about your first job. So what have you experienced? What happened to you cry? And what do you do?
Usually I wouldn't consider that as my first job, more to like just helping. I would consider my time at the robotics class would probably be my first.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Much more.
So for context, right, if you guys don't know, Hong Shen is actually award robotics.
I mean, it's more towards not national. Daira. What is it called?
Daira.
Daira in
state. State lah, yeah. Daira lah.
I won't say state lah. City lah. City.
Okay. City. So you how? If I'm not mistaken,
I've won three times actually. 3 times.
Wow, guys.
Yeah.
That's why he's studying IT now.
Yeah. I mean, there's also mechatronics as well in engineering, but I would say I would like programming more. Even during my time at I'm still learning robotics. I program most of the robots there.
Oh wow! You program there. How long will it take to program a robot?
I mean, if you just copy a few minutes, but
so you basically copy and paste.
I mean, copy and paste is one thing, but there's another one which is after you learn for a few years, you start to understand how the program works, how the robot works. So on my later years, I would start to do my own robot lah. So they will just brief us the mission, and then we do anything as long the robot fits the criteria and anything is okay. So the program is also up to us.
Okay.
And until now, you can do robot. One of the robots that are big, around this big, medium size one about this car.
How long will it take to program it?
Program very very fast only
Okay, let's take the whole process. Like how long to make that process? How long is that process?
Building will be longer because you need to think how everything connects together.
Yes.
Then programming will be a bit less because for my robots will be very simple movements only lah. So it's not like you need to make a system or like that. It's just only simple instructions lah. So I would roughly say a robot you will take about half a day to 1 day.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna say like few hours.
Depends because I do like during the resting hours.
Oh, okay, understand.
So for me, if you say like if I continuously do, probably around a few hours you can finish it, the robot. Then after the program would take around 10 to 30 minutes. No, actually not.
That's actually quite fast.
10 to 20.
It's actually quite fast.
The 20 would probably, if I have some mistakes, I'll just do some adjustments, or if the robot have sensors, then I need to program the sensors as well, of course.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the next segment, which is since we both also so as I said just now, I also coach 24 Festive Drum. I also teach children's primary school kids or drummers. So since we're both
primary only.
I only coach for primary. Because secondary, to be honest, you need more you need to be a better coach. Okay, sorry. Let me phrase it properly.
You need to have more experience.
Yes, I would say more experience and be more because in 24 Festive Drum we have to be more flexible in a way, like your time and then your strength, your body have to be elastic enough.
Oh yeah.
If that makes sense. So
no, it doesn't make sense. Okay.
Right.
Anyway,
Anyways, so since we are in the same page, we are actually teaching kids. So the next thing is, how do we deal kids during when sometimes when children are like a little bit noisy and a little bit naughty. Kids nowadays, this generation is a bit hard to educate. I would say. Then personally.
I mean, for mine is okay because I only deal with, at max would be around 8 to 9 students.
8 to 9 students. That's a max.
If I don't consider the ones that I don't really need to care, those that are more independent ones, then yeah.
How about altogether?
Altogether, maximum would be 13. 13 students at one time.
You know what is my max?
I mean, you can already imagine when you say 24. Okay.
Right. Just take it just example. Just as example. So one class average will be 30 students. 30 students. So
max. This is average. I want max.
Max. Max.
You asked me for my max. My average is around 8 to 9. Your average is around 30.
Let me recap. If I'm not mistaken, my max would be it's a large number actually. It's actually for a performance. It's about 60.
Why so
60.
Why so many?
Okay, I'll tell that now. Okay. So if you don't mind, I share first.
Yeah, go ahead, share.
Okay, so so let's talk about that incident. Why I teach about 60 students. So that time my main coach, he's actually not feeling well. So he came up to me and say, "Hey, Hao Shen, would you help me to teach my students?" So I was like, yeah, why not lah? So when I went there, and then I expect 25, 30 students. When I actually reached there, and then they have a room just to put the drums, all those kind of stuff, all those accessories and drums. So the students actually, when they reach,
they already took out already, is it?
No. When they reach, because that time, so my training time was 4:30 to 6:30, and then taekwondo is 2 hours. So taekwondo is actually before us. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, 1 to 4:30.
So long.
Because they actually separated into sections. They tie their different colors.
Okay.
So each time they have their own section. So the latest for taekwondo is at 4:30. Then I have to wait for them to leave. Then I only ask my students to pick all the drums out. To set up the drums they want. So after setup will be 15 minutes. So by the way, I'm talking the whole process right now for the training. So so after moved out all the drums, and then it's about 4:45. And 4:45 we will have a is actually quite slow. I asked them for like, normally I ask them for like, you have to move down all the drums by 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, you have to move down all the drums already.
Okay, sure.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, why not?
Just another context, their drum is actually lighter and smaller. So they have no excuse.
Hey, they are children there.
Yeah, but they have the strength to move the drums.
Okay, sure, why not? Why not? Okay, sure.
Okay, so after the move the drum, then 45, 4:45 we will have a simple warm up. Stretch a little bit, do a simple warm up. After that, then we'll move up to the training. So that time is actually close to Harisukan. What is it in English?
Harisukan.
Sports day.
Sports day.
Sorry, my goodness, sports day. It's actually a sports day performance. So coach actually asked me to like you need to guide them and you have to finish the rehearsal and then you have to finish the whole piece for that performance.
Within 2 hours.
Within 2 hours. That's the last.
Oh wow.
That's the last practice really. Okay. So that time I was like 2 hours. I tried to make it possible So, and also because that time is the last, so the whole piece is actually finished it's done about 90%. They basically just to revise every single pattern, revise every single pattern for that performance. So yeah, automatically, sports day is a very big thing for primary school. So that's why it has 60, I would say 50 to 60 students who actually participate the performance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that time is right before the pandemic. Like way before the pandemic.
Oh, way before lah.
Way before. It's like 2 years. 2 years to 1 year ago. So
I thought right before.
No. Anyways, back to the training thing. So some of the students, within one coach, you have to teach like 60 students, 50 to 60 students one straight go. It's a lot of students. And that time, some of the students are very, very naughty, they are not listening to me basically, not listening to coach. So for students are not listening for them. So this is how I deal with students. Since I cannot scold one by one, I have to scold the whole team. I have to scold 60 of them and then say, hey, you guys are not listening. You guys gonna do push-up now 10 times. Alright, and then they have to shout it out, the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then after that, done. Okay. Then if I thought that is not,
enough.
Yeah, maybe it's not enough, and then they are still not listening. Well, I'm sorry for those.
Would you consider yourself as a child abuser?
No. I didn't abuse them. I didn't abuse them. I just give them a life lesson, to be honest. So that time when it get too noisy, I was. By the way, as I say, it's the last practice, so I have to get this done by today. And then you guys are still not listening. You guys are still playing around. So I was like, that time I was like, I throw my drumstick down
and
very hard. I didn't leave, and then I shout it out. What happened to you guys? Why you are not listening to me today?
Wait, the kids know you, is it?
Some of them know me lah. Some of them know me. I also know them. So some of the kids are fine, but some of those are very noisy and very naughty. I was like, I really cannot take that away. So I have to release my anger. And then I didn't beat the child. I didn't throw the drumstick to them. I just threw it at the ground and shout out to them, say, hey, this is your last practice. What happened to you? And after that anger, I feel relief. But at the same time, when I feel relief, I thought to myself, what happened to me too?
Why are you so angry?
Why am I so angry? And then the rest is history, because right after I mad at them.
Yeah.
I'm mad at them, and then I was. Secondly, I was relieved, and then thirdly, automatically the kids were listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
So which is a good thing.
I mean,
And-
that's good, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, which is a good thing. And then right after the practice, the performance, coach also wasn't there yet. Wasn't there. So I have to lead the 60 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was it okay? The performance
the performance turns out is not I expected to be.
that good?
Okay, sorry, let me phrase this properly. I wasn't expect to be that good.
Oh, so the exit is better lah.
It's
Okay lah.
exit
Okay
better,
lah,
it's
so it's
exit
good, so it's
better
good,
than
so
my
it's good.
expectation. So yeah, basically that's it lah.
For that time.
Yeah, for that time. Alright, so how about you, Shen?
For me, I mean, I'm not dealing as much as you are, 60 students. I cannot imagine myself teaching 60 students. But if you say, because you say 60 students for a performance,
Yes.
then I was thinking maybe not the max that I've taught, but that one is was with another coach as well. Yeah, so there was two people guiding around 15, I think, around 15 students for a competition. 15 to 16 students for a competition, if not mistaken. Or was it 12? I've forgotten, but it's also quite a large number lah. But let's say, since you say about for the performance,
Yes,
for mine would be just normal daily, not really the weekly ones the ones that I usually, so for those, right, I rarely encounter, not really, but usually at the start they will feel very awkward because they don't know you. Correct.
True.
Is when once they know you, then they will start to become naughty.
Okay.
Yeah, for my side lah, I'm not sure your side is how, but for my side it's usually when they start, they don't really talk. They for the first month to the second month, like that, they won't really talk to you. They just follow. But after the second month, they'll start to talk, because it's either they find friends, then they start. I mean, usually it's that they find friends and they start to talk.
Yes.
And then it's either that or they know you already, so they can start to they interact with you more.
True.
And then the ones that they interact with you, they fall into another two category. One that is really, really naughty ones, and then there's the other one which is like very nice ones.
Okay.
Yeah, but for me, it's most of them are nice. So like,
you're so lucky, my goodness.
yeah. But okay lah. For the 2 years that I was teaching there, I would say the one that are more recent ones are more naughty lah, because they don't really listen, and then I need to settle the fights between the children as well.
They fight.
Not really they fight. They use you know how children fight, like those kind of is the noise,
childish.
the childish kind of fight, the
Okay.
noise fight, and then they give names and all that. So I need to okay, don't call them that already. And after I said that, the next second, hey, same thing again. So I keep on need to repeat myself, but that one is okay, because that one is for me, I understand it's quite normal. So I don't really mind.
Alright. So, but how did you deal with these kind of kids? Are you just gonna remind them? You're not gonna scold them?
I mean, I don't really like scolding children. So for most of the time, I would just say, just don't do it. I won't be mad or anything. But usually the time that I will be mad is usually during I'll be mad at the ones that are not doing the robot.
Okay.
I'm not really mad, but
Building the robot, right?
yeah, because we only have 2 hours to finish the robot.
Yes.
Yeah, so within 2 hours, it's perfectly I mean, within the 2 hours, they need to finish a robot. They need to do their program. I mean, the program, only the ones that are more advanced, I'll let them do. The ones that are they just started or maybe intermediate level, I won't really force them to do. But then there's also cases that they want to learn. So now, of course, I'll teach them. For the ones that don't build their robot, I have really nothing to say to them. It's like I will just beg them to do only. I won't even get.
Please build.
No, please build lah. It's like at least just build your robot, because the robot is. I mean, some of the robot. Okay lah. I agree it's quite hard for them because for me, I would usually need to prepare the sets for them as well. Yeah. So for the sets, I usually take about because I need to prepare 5 sets at a time. One person prepare 5 sets at a time.
Oh, 1 person 5 sets. Okay. 1 person 5 sets.
For me, I have to do 5.
Oh, okay.
It's like
sorry.
I need to do not really 5 robots, but 4 robots is in separate pieces. 1 robot will be built together. Those are for students that are more advanced one. You can just base on the robot. So my timing was around half an hour. So I'm doing 5 at a time within half an hour.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
So I mean, okay lah. If you're just started, 1 hour.
Okay. Yes.
You can definitely finish within 1 hour. If cannot, 1 hour and a half.
Okay.
I still have around half an hour to continue with the mission. Mission usually finish around half an hour or so. If it's for the easier ones, half an hour you can finish. But if it's the easiest one, you can finish within 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. Okay.
It's quite fast one. But the harder ones that a lot of wires and all that, you will require about half an hour. Half an hour to up to 1 hour. Also got. So usually, how to say, program I won't force. Robot I will force them to do because they come here to build robots.
Sorry to interrupt you, but is there any instructions to how to build?
Yeah, of course. There's instruction. The computer have instructions.
Oh, okay.
It's usually the ones that are using the instructions that don't do the robot. The ones that are doing the robot are usually quite advanced.
Okay.
It's either they're quite advanced or they really like it. Then they will do. I mean, there's also some of them that they when I push them for the higher levels one, they don't do. I'm like, yeah, go computer, go.
Okay.
Yeah, no choice already. And then sometimes I know that maybe the ones that are doing quite hard, then I'll say, okay, you go to computer. It's quite hard. But for easiest one, I'll force them to do it because it's very, very easy. I tell them, just do. It's very simple only.
So for you, it's just how to deal with your types of kind of
my
children.
types of children is more towards
kids, not children.
Okay, sorry. The kind of children, right, is more towards naughty and not really not listening lah, because not listening is more towards like older age. Because I teach around starting from age youngest that I've thought age 4.
Oh, you can join robotics for such a young age.
Yeah, from age 4. I mean, they recommend 5, but some 4 quite.
4 years old.
Yeah, as long as I can speak to them, that they can reply back. I can teach them.
Yes.
Yeah, so starting from age 4 until age 17. So it is quite the large spectrum now. Because for the younger one would be quite not naughty, but they won't really concentrate on building. They will do until halfway, then they will like you just go.
they are seeing the ceiling, facing the ceiling.
I don't know what to do. Yeah.
You just give the context to our audience or listeners also. For my coaching, I also teach from the age of 7. No, sorry. 9. Even 9
to 12.
To 12.
So yours is more concentrated. So
yes, mine is more concentrated.
At least you can talk to them, but they have their own thoughts as well.
Yes,
more or less have their own thoughts.
Yes.
For mine, is some of them have, even at young age, they do have their own thoughts.
Oh.
It's quite nice to So it's actually quite nice to look at them. They have their own thoughts and all that. And cases that will be met will be usually during when I'm conducting the mission for them to do.
Which
the
is the
competition.
last
Which is the
30
last
seconds.
section. The last section.
Okay.
So during the last section is I am forced to do. I need to finish everything within.
Please do.
No.
You don't please someone. You just
I just tell them to do.
just tell them to do. What if they don't really do? What if they're like, Coco, I don't want to do.
They just say,
can I go home?
Teacher.
Oh, sorry, teacher.
They say teacher. At most cases, when they don't want to do, it's usually they opens down already. So if it's like very less, then I see that I see that okay, it's only only a few steps only. I'll just help them quickly do. So it's not. I mean, I can't because you can't force them already. Right? If you continue force them, they will just say no. So might as well just help them a bit. They almost finished already. Just help them to do a bit only. Then for during the competitions, right? So yeah, go back to what I said lah. So I'm forced to finish everyone with it. Not finish everyone. I need to make sure everyone participate.
Finish their task.
Finish their robot, and
mission.
Everyone's robot has been programmed to the current program lah. Because every week we'll do different programs and robots. So I need to make sure everyone's finished, and then I also need to finish the mission so that they can go back.
Will they? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Will parents like come up to you and ask like, hey, how's my son doing today?
For me it's quite rare because they usually go to my boss instead.
Oh, okay.
So I'll usually what I do, I'll direct them to my boss. Because I'm
You're asking me, oh please, ask my boss. Mine is different though, to be honest. Mine is like when parents come up to me and say, hey.
Of course, I also receive a few lah. Of course, I receive a few.
Of course.
Is usually because they usually ask during when I'm very busy. So I said, you can go to my boss there first, and after I finish, then I'll say lah, how is he doing? Then my boss also knows because I regularly update to my boss also. So my boss will also know everything what I know lah.
For me, basically, parents come up to me and say, why you're so fierce today? Why this coach is so fierce? Why my son cannot go for performance? All this kind of stuff will be making me to be like, to educate them, in a way. So for me personally, it's not to scold them or didn't ask them to, how to say, not, let me phrase this properly. Basically, I have to tell parents like, I'm sorry to say, but your child today is a little bit naughty, is a little bit talkative, and sometimes, it's just, boy, when I think about those days, it's very stressful. Because when parents came up to you, either it's a very good thing, or it's a very, very bad thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you really have to calm myself down and really have to explain to parents
what's happening.
What's happening during the session. So yeah, basically that's it. Is it?
Have I explained my part? I think I have.
Yeah, I also think I have. So basically that's the topic for today.
Yeah.
Basically sharing our first ever part-time job and how to deal with kids nowadays. To parents nowadays, this kind of generation, I would say like, please educate your child.
No. Educate lah. Just don't pamper them too much.
Yeah,
I would say don't pamper them too much.
And then don't give them iPads straight away. I mean that's how I would take care of my child if I have a child.
I mean, if you're a parent, I would understand why would you want to throw iPads to your child because you want some time off.
Yes.
I understand, but
yeah.
I mean, we haven't experienced it yet, so
yeah, we haven't. I won't talk about it that much yet. So So yeah, that's it for today's episode on what we're basically sharing our part-time job and how to deal with kids. And you can stream us on Spotify and YouTube and Anchor, our hosting podcast, which is on Anchor. The link is right down below if you are watching on YouTube. And as I say, you can stream us on Spotify and YouTube and Anchor. And you also can follow us on our social media on Instagram at thecorner.podcast. And if you guys have any suggestion for the next topics or would like us to share, you may comment down below. And yeah, and then we will see you on the next episode. Peace.